Thank you so much, Professor Brzezinski, and I want to thank again to the organizer for inviting me this for the fifth time to this important security event here in Moscow. So, I will try in this limited time to present three chapters. First, it's about international security environment. The second one, it's about Black Sea and the region. It was already mentioned today from the very beginning by the officials. And the third chapter will be about space as a critical infrastructure. So, in Oxford Dictionary was published that last year's word of the year, the most quoted and the characteristic word of the year, it's toxic. Toxic in a large sense in the international environment. Then we have also the trust, the backbone of international security environment, which has lost its substance. It's several times it was mentioned, this in the speeches presented in this morning. So I just want to invite you to think which will be the word for this year. Maybe turbulence, because we started from the very beginning with a lot of developments and it's going on and on. In the security environment, we are experiencing a decrease in trust among the big powers and also an erosion of the capacity of the main international institutions to provide stability and a sustainable security environment and perceptions. So experts, but also media, say this is a Cold War too. This has been called also gray zone and so on. So in this new geopolitical environment, we have to take into account this shift to the east. And I think what was presented by Kishore Mahbubani could be of interest. He mentions that the West has been at the forefront of the world history for almost 200 years. Now it has to learn to share, even abandon that position and adapt to a world it can no longer dominate. Some of the speakers have already stressed this situation. So, speaking about the region I'm coming from, the Black Sea, we have there a situation which is not so often mentioned, that the fact that NATO, it's in a neighborhood of so-called NATO of the East, that's Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So we have Russia, it's a Black Sea, but we have also NATO with three members, Romania, Bulgaria, and Turkey at the Black Sea. So we are in front, NATO and Shanghai Cooperation Organization in this area, starting with the north to the Black Sea. If we are looking to the map, we can discover that we have a new neighborhood between the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and NATO in the Pacific, where Russia and China have in front US and Canada. This was already presented in 2010 as a potential development in the international environment in Brussels by this security gem exercise, but also in February by the report presented by World Economic Forum of Davos. So, NATO border from Baltic states and Poland to Romania and the Black Sea should be seen as a contact point with the western border of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. I believe we are at a new low in the level of the dialogue between NATO, EU, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization, especially when it comes to critical infrastructure protection, energy security, fight against transborder organized crime, and also terrorism. But we have another development. A new geopolitical axis was launched in the last period. That means the Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Mediterranean Sea, with a potential of development we will see in the next period. Regarding the situation of the position, geopolitical position of my country, it's in between this area of Baltic Sea and Black Sea, between this western part, Europe, and also Russia. We have here the contact between US with security, not only Romania but also Poland, missile shield, it was presented, NATO troops, but also China with now 17+1, not more 16+1, Belt and Road Initiative, Poland, Romania, economy and infrastructure dimension. There are a lot of initiatives here. Speaking just only from Romania, we have not only this 17+1, we have the 3 Seas initiative, Baltic Sea, Adriatic Sea and Black Sea, launched by the American president, and also the Danube strategy, which is for many years launched by European Union. In the field of space, we have not to forget that we are facing a new situation, a vertical dimension of security from space to undersea cables. Space war was for decades an area of confrontation and cooperation among big powers, mainly between the US and Russia. Recent developments are increasing the likelihood of militarization of space, with new dedicated military command structures, testing ranges for newcomers. I mentioned India, China, Israel, and so on. And so the club, which had 2 members to the beginning, US and Russia, it's now much larger. Space brings together missile and anti-missile systems, nuclear capabilities, cyber, both for attack and defense. So the balance of terror between the US and Russia during the First Cold War is now replaced by something even more dangerous. We are considering that is unpredictability in general. So it's also connected with deficit of trust. The unpredictability also in case of possible use of nuclear, tactical and strategical weapons at different levels, from undersea and also to the outer space. In this regard, space is more and more considered as a critical infrastructure, as said. So we worked on that issue in the last 14 years, and now it's included in the documents of European Commission, but also recently we launched this book by our team, Critical Space Infrastructures in Springer. It's very important because it's stressing the great deal of interdependency among great powers in terms of critical infrastructures, including space, and the current development may bring back a sort of mutual assured economic destruction logic. It was mentioned by speakers in relation also with cyber. Space is especially important for long-term resilience because of the dependence of energy grids, global supply chain management, ITC, crisis management, and space capabilities. So in this regard, it's easy to mention here this classical image of using, for example, the support of GPS for different structures in the civilian field, but also the sensibility when it comes to the military. Increased interconnectivity leads to increased vulnerability. Okay, and I'm at the end. In time, space asset will be the upper component of every infrastructure system. And at the end, so-called thinking the unthinkable, we have to mention that This growing militarization of space is now coming also with new developments like maybe Belt and Road Initiative as a part of this development also in the space. The powers, great powers are condemned to cooperate. Also, the dealing with vertical dimension of security will bring new and unexpected responsibilities for civil and military authorities. And at the end, as final thought, coming from Romania as a subject to criticism from Russian Federation regarding the US facilities on our territory, we are following with concern, on the one hand, the increasing tensions between US, NATO and Russia, and the other hand, the evolution of China, India, Iran in the field of space. It is high time to restart the process of negotiations among the main actors to find sustainable solutions for security and stability in the world. Thank you so much for your attention.